Welcome to graduation 2021. Congratulations, graduates. And let me just say, I was sweating it today with that rain, but right now, it's looking pretty good. So we'll have the Star Spangled Banner next. I know the band students and the choir students will walk over. You may be seated. Next up, we will have the commencement address by Sharia Bryden and Sadie Carlisle.
Dear fellow classmates, it is such an honor for me to be up here tonight addressing this great class of 2021. It definitely has been different than we all planned and imagined our senior year of high school would be. This year we have learned that obstacles are a part of life, but here we are graduating anyway. We were still given the chances to participate in sports, band, and school activities, and for this, I am grateful. When everything has been stripped away from life, it brings a new perspective, a new hope, and I hope each of us have learned gratefulness. Gratefulness for the important things in life, like family and friends, our neighbors and community, instead of being selfish. Our memories will be a part of the history books in the future. We will tell stories to the next generation about staying 6 feet away from people at all times, being quarantined for months, and wearing masks everywhere we went. Speaking of masks, I haven't minded wearing them, but the thing that bothered me was hiding part of who we are. We couldn't read facial expressions. It almost felt like people were hiding part of themselves. Tonight, I want to say to each of you, don't hide the real you in life. Don't hide behind a mask. Walk tall and be confident in who you are. And always remember your roots of Hoquiam High School. And always be grateful. I am grateful for each of you. I am grateful that we are here tonight getting to do this. I am grateful for what the future holds for each of us. I want to say thank you to everyone who has helped and prepared us for this day. Teachers, for always pushing us to reach our full potential. Mentors, who were always there for good advice and encouragement. Coaches, who saw the best in us and pushed us to reach our goals. Parents, for being the ones there every day. And anyone else who has supported us to help us get here today. It is very much appreciated by each of us. A big thank you also goes to our special small town that has been so generous and supportive of each of us throughout our whole lives. We truly live in an incredible community, and each of us will always have a special bond to this place no matter where we go next. Wow, what a crazy journey it has been for us to get here. But I am so grateful to be graduating with all of you today. Congratulations, class of 2021.
Good evening, staff, administration, families, and teachers in the Hoquiam class of 2021. Today is an exciting day. Kinda. Today I'm going to give you a speech. Now, I would be lying if I did not say I wrote this the day of it being due on the Notes app of my phone, but it seemed appropriate, as I am sure that our entire last year and a half could be labeled as last minute. Like most of you, I did not picture our graduation to be just like this, half the crowd watching through the screen. But we did it. We made it through that really awkward freshman year stage. We passed at least most of our classes, and we made it through all of those really long Zoom calls. I want to give a big congratulations to everyone, including myself, for achieving the opportunity to be here today. Despite all of the odds, we still managed to graduate. I would like to thank the administration and teachers for helping us achieve our very best potential in the classroom. I would like to thank all of our coaches for always pushing us to be not only better athletes, but better people. I would like to thank our families for always loving us and being our very best supporters. And finally, I would like to thank every single one of you, the Hoquiam graduating class of 2021, for always being the best that we can be. We are all about to walk across the stage, shake some hands, get our diplomas, and go to a lot of graduation parties. Not long after that, though, this small town where you grew up, with the kids that are sitting next to you that you grew up with, will no longer just be a few minutes away. You will have to zoom out on your snap map just to see them all. There will be no more sprinting to class so you don't get marked late, no more going to eat at Denny's on a Friday night after a football game, no more playing in those games, and no more proms or homecomings. No more late night driving around with your best friends, listening to music so loud that it hurts your ears. I know that it sounds cliche, but high school really does fly by. I am sure that we will all miss it in one way or another, but today marks the start of another journey. Today is the first day of the rest of our lives. I hope you all find the kind of moments that take your breath away, the kind of moments that change you. I hope that you travel to places that cleanse you, go to concerts that ring through your bones and make you feel alive. I hope you connect with the small things. I hope you look at someone mid-conversation and feel your stomach surge with the feelings you have for them. I hope you surround yourself with the kind of friends who are always there for you. Most of all, I hope you live. Truly, I hope that you don't hold back. There's so much to feel in this world, and I hope you guys all feel it all. But if there's anything that you can take from me today, remember that to leave a legacy and to achieve greatness is not to get money or recognition. It is to leave those with whom you cross paths with a little more happiness and hope. Our time here at Hoquiam High School will not be remembered by grades, likes, popularity, or even favorites, but by relationships and the kind of person that you are. These are our legacies, the kind that we must leave behind. To the class of 2021, it's really been an amazing 13 years with all of you. And from the very bottom of my heart, I truly wish you all the very best. Thank you.
You two will be up next. Okay. Thanks, girls. Tonight will be a little bit different with graduation because we didn't have class night this year. So what we're going to do is do some of the honoring of class night right now. So we're going to have Mrs. Jump and Mrs. Winkleman, and a few others, share some of the awards and some of the scholarships tonight.
So when you hear your scholarship or your name, please stand, and then you can sit. The Michael Catron Scholarship, McKenna Catron. Class of 1948 Academic Scholarship, Sadie Carlisle, Dane McMillan. Class of 1948 Vocational Scholarship, Michael Jump. Cranberry Grower Association, Sharia Bryden. Frank Dressel Scholarship, Jillian Cobb. Richard England Memorial Scholarship, Sadie Carlisle. Aaron Foote Memorial Scholarship, Emily Elders, Dane McMillan. Grace Harbor College Foundation Scholarships, Sharia Bryden. The Bruce Vreeland Memorial, Emily Elders and Emily Daniels. Grace Harbor Community Foundation Scholarships, Dr. Robert A. Mandich, Sharia Bryden, Jillian Cobb, Emily Daniels, Emily Elders, Michael Jump, Amelia Moore, and Caitlin Stevens. Dr. Emmett and Dorothy Calhoun Memorial, Ainsley Estes. Bob and Eva Aiken Family Memorial, Sadie Carlisle. David McKay Memorial, Dane McMillan. Novak Family Scholarship, Trey Bryden. Ron and Andy Holm Memorial, Kylie Bell and Jackson Mudenbaugh. John R. James Memorial, Bradley Folkers. Dr. John and Elise Corval Memorial, Jennifer Cole. Lyle Lancaster Memorial Scholarship, Queen Gerard. Dave Westby Family Fund, Clara Wolford. Dorothea Park Memorial, Troy McMinn. Hoquiam Class 1965, Tawny Hilliard. Ken Miller Memorial, Abraham Morales. Aaron Thomas Deneen Memorial, Kylie Bell. L. George Paz, Chloe Goodenough. David Spanish Memorial, Jennifer Cole. Dennis Wilson Memorial, Elizabeth Folkers. Dorothea and Herbie Lawrence family, Caden Stankovich. Grace Harbor Community Foundation, Leanna Flores, Dane McMillan. American Veterans Home Association, Abraham Morales. Grizzly Pride Scholarship, Jennifer Cole, Ainsley Estes, Elizabeth Folkers, Camden Templar. Tom Heedland Grizzly Alumni Vocational Scholarship, Emily Daniels, Chloe Goodenough, and Michael Jump. Dr. Albert Iben Medical Scholarship, Sadie Carlisle. The Alan McKay Grizzly Alumni Scholarship, Sharia Bryden and Amelia Moore. Grizzly Booster Club Scholarship, Sadie Carlisle, Amelia Moore. Hoquiam Elk Scholarship, Jillian Cobb, Ainsley Estes, Leanna Flores, and Cassidy Such.
Hoquiam Loggers Playday Court, Emily Daniels, Emily Elders, Ainsley Estes, Elizabeth Folkers, Amelia Moore. Hoquiam PEO Chapter T Scholarships, Hoquiam PEO Chapter T Scholarship, Sadie Carlisle. Hoquiam PEO Chapter T Dowell Family Scholarship, Jillian Cobb. Hoquiam PEO Chapter T Helen Swanson Scholarship, Ainsley Estes. Hoquiam Rotary Scholarship, Sadie Carlisle, Emily Daniels, Amelia Moore. CJLB, Hoquiam Rotary Scholarship, Dane McMillan. Hoquiam Teachers Association Scholarship, Amelia Moore. Sybil Hubble Memorial Scholarship, Sadie Carlisle. Roger Jump Memorial Scholarship, Sadie Carlisle, Tristan Ford, Michael Jump. Kelsey Foundation Scholarship, Sadie Carlisle, Jillian Cobb, Jennifer Cole, Ainsley Estes, Chloe Goodenough, Dane McMillan, Amelia Moore, Kaden Stankovich, Caitlin Stevens. That was it. That was a lot. Knights of Columbus, Amelia Moore. Hoquiam Lions Club Scholarship, Academic, Sharia Bryden, Sadie Carlisle, Science, Amelia Moore, Vocational, Camden Templar. Dr. Michael A. Lonack Memorial Scholarship, Sharia Bryden, Sadie Carlisle, Leona Flores. Helen Nelson Scholarship, Caden Stankovich. Ocean Spray Cranberries, Paul Thorkinson. Scholarship, McKenna Catron. Irwin and Lorraine Pinckney Scholarship, Ainsley Estes. Dave Raby Memorial Scholarship, Sadie Carlisle, Amelia Moore. Seabrook Community Foundation Graduate Scholarships, Kylie Bell, Sharia Bryden, Trey Bryden, Sadie Carlisle, McKenna Catron, Jennifer Cole, Emily Daniels, Emily Elders, Ainsley Estes, Leona Flores, Elizabeth Folkers, Chloe Goodenough, Michael Jump, Finn McElliott, Dane McMillan, Amelia Moore, and Caden Stankovich. Seabrook Community Foundation Principal's Choice, Haley Lawrence. Lester Strip Matter Memorial Scholarship, Amelia Moore. Chuck Vallone Scholarship, Sadie Carlisle, Dane McMillan, Amelia Moore. Catherine Calla Wandell and George Grosser Wandell Scholarship, McKenna Catron. Washington State Coaches Association Scholarship, Dane McMillan. Washington State Council 2 of County and City Employees Scholarship, Sadie Carlisle. Carol J. Wayman Scholarship, Jillian Cobb. Congratulations.
And I'm going to have students stand as well. I'm going to read through some like honor grads and awards and stuff. But I do want one bragging point before I have the honor grads stand and we give them a good applause, because we had 26 honor grads this year, and that is something. So honor grads, take a stand. Stand up, honor grads. That's a lot. Thank you. Go ahead and have a seat. Washington State Honors, Sharia Bryden, Emily Elders, Sadie Carlisle, Jennifer Cole, Leanna Flores, Amelia Moore, Trey Bryden, McKenna Catron, and Marianne Parton. World-class scholars. I'm going to read something here real quick about world-class scholars, and then I'm going to have all of the world-class scholars stand and be recognized. So I'm proud to recognize Hoquiam High School graduating seniors who have fulfilled a 6-year commitment to become world-class scholars. These students have demonstrated excellence in academics, school and community involvement, and volunteerism. The $2,000 scholarship from the Grays Harbor College Foundation that they have earned will help launch their education and career. Many of these students have already placed in college-level classes and will put the scholarship to use in the fall. The award can be used for Grace Harbor College classes online or during summer quarter, and credits can be transferred to four-year schools. So on behalf of Grace Harbor College Foundation and the college, we congratulate Hoquiam seniors who have qualified as world-class scholars. So if you are a world-class scholar, please stand. Thank you. And then this is another bragging point I was going to talk about later tonight, but I'll just do it right now. We had 9 students this year get their AA as well as their high school diploma. That's cool. So please stand. Lauren Berger, Jennifer Cole, Matthew Fitzpatrick, Leanna Flores, Elizabeth Folkers, Zachary Gillies Anderson, Haley Lawrence, Marianne Parton, and Caitlin Stevens. That's a great job. Great job. Thank you. Let's see, where am I at? The DAR Award winner, Sadie Carlisle. And the next I want to talk about is the Lions Club students. So what we did this year a little bit different. We decided, because we couldn't go in each month, we decided to do the students of the season, and we did them at the end of the year. So if you were recognized as Lions Club student of the season for the fall, please rise. Please stand. Stay standing. If you were recognized as winter, stand. And if you were recognized as a spring, please stand. Thank you. And I have to say this name here because we have one person this year getting special recognition for Hope Squad. It'd be Trey Crawford. Where you at, Trey? I think you're over here, yeah. College scholarships and honors. Grace Harbor College, Sadie Carlisle, Emily Elders, Emily Daniels, Michael Jump, and Sharia Bryden. And Central Washington University, we have Caitlin Stevens. And Oregon State University, we have Amelia Moore. And I'm going to let Don, do you want to come up and do a real quick for the, do you have something for the school board recognition? Or Mike, sorry. I said Don, I meant Mike.
Sadie Carlisle, could you please come up? Yes. We want to recognize Sadie Carlisle. This year she served as our senior board representative for the school board. Quite a unique year, especially where everything was virtual. And she came in last year and it was half virtual. But on behalf of the school board and school board president Don Oliver, who's board chair, we want to congratulate you and thank you for your service. We've ordered you a plaque. You'll get that. And so it is we recognize her for her service and her input to us on the school board. And so good luck in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So another tradition of that we have on class days that we make the H. And so we're going to make an H in the field this year because it's a Hoquiam tradition. And so I'm going to have our athletic director come up and say the names. I'm going to head out in the field and help them make the H. But please welcome our athletic director, Annette Duval.
All right, we'll start with our first year letter winners. Matthew Fitzpatrick, Tristan Ford, go see Mr. Maxfield. Kajana Frank, Alicia Howard, Lily Johnson Mace, Mercy Macy, Marcus Marmount, Vinnie Monroe, Arwen Riggs, Dylan Sears, Lexi Schultz, Jaden Totten, and Emily Watkins. Give them a hand. All right. 2-year athletic activity recognition, Lauren Berger, Alexis McDaniel, Jonathan Seelan, Alyssa Perry, Jaden Pratt, Alexander Riz, and Joan Stroop Connolly. 2 years, well done. Our 3-year athletic activities, Kevin Catalin, Sarah Elledge, Bradley Folkers, Samuel Fox, Chloe Goodenough, Madison Herrera, Caden Kempf, Hannah Crone, Finn McElliott, Ruth Marino Ferjuawa, sorry, Brandon Pickich, Caden Stankovich, Danielle Taylor, Camden Templer, and Eliza Wood. Well done, 3 years. And our 4-year letter winners, Kalia Bailey, Kylie Bell, Kyron Britz, Sharaya Bryden, Trey Bryden, Sadie Carlisle, McKenna Catron, Jillian Cobb, Jennifer Cole, Emily Daniels, Emily Elders, Ryan Jr. Ensminger, Ainsley Estes, Kevin Estrada, Elizabeth Folkers, Zachary Gillis Anderson, Christian Gleason, Tanya Hilliard, Michael Jump, Haley Lawrence, Natalie Lone Anderson, Dane McMillan, Troy McMinn, Amelia Moore, Jackson Mudenbaugh, Abraham Morales, Marianne Parton, Joe Rogers, Valerie Roloff, Jacob Smith, Caitlin Stevens, and Noah Sutter. Let's give these 4-year letter winners a hand. If I missed anybody, this is hard information to get. If somebody has a letter that I didn't catch, go join the group. Okay? From this group, we have some special awards, and you can step forward towards the umbrella. Our Dorothy Davis, which acknowledges our outstanding female athlete, goes to Sharaya Bryden. Sharaya, come forward. Come forward a little bit. Our Elma Hewitt Award to the best overall athlete goes to Dane McMillan. Come on, step forward. Step forward. There you go. 4 more steps. There you go. Righty-o, that's how we do it. U.S. Army Reserve Scholar Athlete. The male is Michael Jump, female Valerie Roloff. Join the group. Grizzly Athletic Scholarship Excellence Award, Finn McElliott and Sadie Carlisle. United States Marine Corps Distinguished Athlete Award, Troy McMinn, Haley Lawrence. The Jade Goldberg Scholarship, Noah Sutterth and Jennifer Cole. The Chanderay Family Scholarship, Dane McMillan. Dane, wave. Yeah, there you go. And the Grizzly Way Athletics. All these awards were voted on by our head coaches, by the way. These kids are recognized for community involvement, role models, leadership, coachability, academics, no athletic violation codes, commitment to academics, respected by their teachers and teammates with a high work ethic. Trey Braden, Jillian Cobb, Bryden, my bad. Jillian Cobb, Emily Elders, Caden Kemp, Amelia Moore, and Camden Templar. Let's give these kids a hand. Good job, go back. So I think we want a picture of the H. So go back where you were, make that H real pretty. And I'm not sure who's taking the picture, but let's give this group a big, big round of applause. Great job, well done.
Okay, before I introduce our ASB advisor, I just want to take a few minutes to talk about the Music Department Awards. These are well-deserved awards. These students have worked so hard, and I'm telling you what, how do you do band and choir on Zoom? You don't. I mean, it's really hard to do, and so I really applaud the students that stuck with it this year, and I appreciate you. I went into a few sessions, and it's rough. So anyway, the Hoquiam Music Alumni Scholarship, Jennifer Cole, please stand. The Semper Fidelis Award for Musical Excellence is Jillian Cobb. And I believe we saw her directing earlier, but the John Philip Sousa Band Award would be Caitlin Stevens. The Louis Armstrong Jazz Award goes to McKenna Catron. And the National Choir Award goes to Zachary Gillies Anderson. Great job. And now we have Mrs. Barr.
Good evening. I'd like to announce the ASB leaders tonight. When I call your name, if you would please stand. We'd like to thank our Executive Board for ASB, President Emily Elders, Vice President Emily Daniels, Secretary Ainsley Estes, Treasurer Chloe Goodenough, Ex officio Amelia Moore and Abraham Morales. Senior class officers, President Tawny Hilliard, Vice President Trey Bryden, Secretary Sadie Carlisle, Treasurer Sharia Bryden, Ex officio Valerie Roloff, and Ex officio Danielle Taylor. Of this amazing group, we have some football chairs here, and our football chairs work really hard to help try to raise money for our community and for those that are in need. And so I'd like to give a special recognition to Emily Elders, Emily Daniels, Ainsley Estes, Chloe Goodenough, Tawny Hilliard, and Amelia Moore. Thank you, everyone. Our Grizzly Awards this year were recognized by the staff for outstanding work and overcoming obstacles in their lives, a lot of different reasons, but they got this recognition because they were well thought of and deserved these awards. Our Grizzly Award winners, if you'll please stand: Sharia Bryden, Kiana Frank, Amelia Moore, Sadie Carlisle, Zachary Gillis Anderson, Vinnie Monroe, McKenna Catron, Tawny Hilliard, Joe Rogers, Jillian Cobb, Cameron Crone, Jonathan Seelan, Emily Daniels, Marcus Mormont, Clara Wolford, Emily Elders, and Troy McMinn. Our Silver and Gold Awards were voted on by the staff again, and this is our top 10 students that we voted on. Sadie Carlisle, if you'd stand, Caden Kemp, McKenna Catron, Haley Lawrence, Emily Daniels, Amelia Moore, Emily Elders, Joe Rogers, Tawny Hilliard, and Noah Sutter. Thank you, everybody, for all your work and service to our school.
All right, we tried to get the time capsule here tonight, but it got a nice fresh coat of paint this afternoon, so it's not here. But I do want to do a special recognition to Amelia Moore and Hokie Moore for getting this time capsule. I guess it's a pretty cool looking thing. And Doug Jones, who has been painting it and making that for you guys. So give a shout out to them. All right, and this is always the last thing we do at class day. So before we get to our guest speaker here, time for the Class Heart Award. So for those of you that don't know Class Heart, it's a huge deal. It's been around for a long time. It's the person voted on by your students, by your fellow classmates, and basically they're the nicest, sweetest, kindest. It's just the person that's your class heart. Like they are the heart of your class and what you represent. So this year, drum roll please. This is a great pick, guys. Jonathan Celine, come on down. I'll tell you, that was a great pick, and I know I did see the votes on that one, and I normally don't, but that was a lot of votes there. And I'm going to tell you, Jonathan is always the kid that's going to open the door for everybody when they come through. He always has a smile on his face, and I think everybody in that class, based on the voting, recognized that. And so, Jonathan, that's a well-deserved award. Okay, next up. Okay, so now it's time for me to introduce our guest speaker tonight. This is a new thing for me. Normally I speak, but I thought this year the students would really get a kick out of meeting the person who has been buying the cap and gowns for the seniors, meeting the person who's been buying the yearbooks for the seniors. So Dr. Robert Mandich was a graduate of Hoquiam High School in 1957. He was very active as he was the student body president. After Hoquiam, Dr. Mandich went to the University of Washington and graduated in 1964 with a DDS degree. He then served 2 years in the Army Dental Corps. After serving in the Army, Dr. Mandich started a dental practice in Kent, where he practiced for 31 years. In 1997, he retired and moved to Hoquiam, Washington for a decade, and he currently lives in Carlsbad, California. So the rain and the cold, he's probably not used to right now, huh? In his retirement, Dr. Mandich is in great health, yes, likes photography, travels, looks for ways to help others, and through the Grace Harbor Community Foundation, Dr. Mandich has sponsored a 4-year scholarship. Actually, you heard earlier tonight, there's the Mandich Scholarships. And so this is the guy right here that does this. And so when you start adding it up, and I know I'm embarrassing him right now because he is very humble, actually. We're talking tens of thousands of dollars a year that gets donated for our students. And I know for a fact, last year's class and this year's class, I've had many parents and students tell me about how much this, it takes a burden off them. It's that extra $100 and some that people need. And so I really appreciate this. So let's give a big Grizzly welcome to Dr. Mandich. Come on over, sir. Come on over. This is your stage. What's happening?
Thank you. Thank you for the kind words, Brock. Became my whole biography, so I might as well sit down.
Mike's right.
Okay. First, congratulations to all your graduates. 12 years is a long time to spend in school, but you graduate, you all deserve it. But another big thank you is to your parents for insisting you stay in school, you learn, you accomplish. So, congratulations all you parents that are here. So, I thought of, when I graduated, it seems like a crazy statement, but the world is your oyster. I don't know what the heck it means, but I would prefer a razor clam, but that's just me. 2 years, there are 2 years that you probably remember utmost in your life: one year you're born, and one when you graduate high school. And everything else, these are sort of like landmarks or years. So anyway, you probably got an introduction of who I am. My mom and dad graduated here in 1933. My brother in 55, my sister in 56, and I graduated in 57. And there are probably at least 2 dozen cousins, aunts, uncles from both sides of the family are all Grizzlies. This is my first commencement speech in 64 years. So I'm really thinking about getting a new agent. What do you think? The school experiences, I live on Carr Avenue. It's in Chenault and Carr Avenue. First school was Central School Kindergarten, which is on Emerson Avenue. That's now a vacant lot. The second school was St. Mary's from grade 1 to grade 8, another vacant lot. Then, of course, moved up to junior high, right next to grade school, 3 vacant lots. The fourth was high school, right next to junior high, another vacant lot. And then my previous jobs I had as a kid was a paper boy for the Seattle PI, and then later on, or it's about the same time, the Grace Harbor Washingtonian, which is up on 7th Street. And then J.C. Penney's, which is right next to the 7th Street Theater. They're all gone. So Olympic Stadium here was built in 1928, a great example of what they call tall timber structure. So with all those previously all gone things, I hope I didn't put a curse on this place. I hope you have a graduation here next year. Let's see what else we got here. Some of these odd jobs that we had as kids they're probably not done anymore. When we were kids, we worked on cranberry bogs up by Ocean Shores. During the winter time, when it was cold, they had a commercial clam digging season. So a bunch of us guys went out and dug clams, and it got so cold in the winter that you put your hands in the ocean to warm them up. You know, we have freezing weather, snow, so it was a little bit brutal. Another thing, I don't know if it's still there or not, but one thing we used to do is peel cascara bark. They're like a tree about this big around, and it's used for it's used for laxatives. And the shack out on, as you go out North Hoquiam, they have where you take your bark and sell it to them for 6 cents a pound or 10 cents a pound, whether it's wet or dry. You put it in your gunny sack, they weigh it, they take a pound off of it for the gunny sack weight, and then they keep the gunny sack. But anyway, like I said, it was used for laxative purposes, and the motto on the side of the shack that was sold, it says, "We keep the world moving." So I don't know if the place is there or not, but anyway, it was kind of a good joke. And about Hoquiam Spirit, when I was here, graduated, we had 11,000 people was the population. I think it's several thousand less now. But during the regular football games, we'd have about 5,000 or 6,000 people in here. And that's half the city's population would come here to a regular football game. And then the Aberdeen game, which always played on Thanksgiving, now it's, I think, conference games and stuff like that, The place was full. The stands were full. There was bleachers over here, standing room only over here. I would imagine that there must have been 8 or so thousand people here, which is a big percentage of the city came for Thanksgiving. Unfortunately, Aberdeen won more than we did, but they were twice as big. Another example of Hoquiam spirit. Last year, this was a really touching thing for me. This girl, Rachel Bates, was handicapped in a wheelchair, and her mom wanted to live long enough to see her graduate. So Brock and the team made she received her graduation in the yard of their house. The girl was sitting here in a wheelchair. The picture's in the Aberdeen World. And he gave a graduation for her alone, and the mom was looking out the window from her bedroom or living room, and she saw her daughter graduate, and she died 3 days later. So that's really a spirit. And then afterward, there was car rallies and whatever, parades and things like that to honor this girl. So, and I was talking to my wife, and I said, I think this story and the picture, I wish somebody would have put nominated for a Pulitzer Prize, just the story behind it. That's the way it affected me. So, and I'll just close with a short story. Prefaced by that great speaker, Cassius Clay, Muhammad Ali. And he said, it ain't bragging if it's true. So, I'm bragging, but it's true. A few years ago, I was on a photography trip to Morocco, and there was in Casablanca's huge fish market. And the boats would come, and there'd be dozens of boats and more dozens of people, and the boats would the crew would bring up the fish on a basket, and they'd put it on this big concrete slab about as big as this grassy area right here. And the merchant would come over, and the fishermen would sort out the fish by species and size and whatever. And then the restaurants would buy it, and the citizens would buy it, and some of us took to other cities for sale. And this guy and I were pretty much into photography, so we were taking pictures of this stuff. And I saw a lady, maybe from here to the Grizzly sign over there, and she had a little kid on her back, and just wrapped in a big scarf. And she was picking up scrap food, like the fish wasn't sellable, pieces of broken fish, things that were wrong with the fish. So they kind of just throw them in a little pile. So this lady was over there going through these fish parts that couldn't sell, and putting them in she had a little paper bag, and she was putting the fish in there, probably to feed her family and her kid and everything else. So I walked over there and thought, this would be really a cool picture. The story I just told you, a lady picking up the fish just to feed her family. And I walked over there and I thought, it'd be a great picture. And then I thought, there's something wrong with this picture. So I said, what's more important, my picture of this lady or her? And I decided she was more important. So I reached in my pocket. I had maybe 10 or 15 bucks worth of their currency over there. So I just walked up to her, and I tapped her on her back. We made eye contact. Excuse me. I reached out. She reached out. I put the money in her hand, and I turned and walked away. I didn't need a recognition. I didn't need a thank you or anything. So the moral of the story is, anyway, so then I just walked away, and I went back to where my buddy was, and he said, what did you do? And I told him, and he said, wow, that made her day. And I said, no, it made my day. So as you go through life, if you can make somebody's day, just think of just a little thing. It's better to make their day, perhaps, than it is your day. So that's my story. So congratulations again. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for letting me come. And have a great evening. I wish you guys all the success in the world. Good night. Thank you.
So if there's any younger students out there, underclassmen, yes, he has scholarships each year. And they keep coming and coming. And I just can't thank Dr. Mandich enough for, we're just so lucky to have someone like you. Thank you very much. We're lucky. Next up, we have Superintendent, Mr. Mike Villarreal, to give his superintendent address.
Welcome, parents, family, staff, and visitors. Welcome to our high school graduation ceremony tonight. We want to acknowledge those who are joining us virtually this evening also, and also our graduates. I'm Mike Villarreal, the proud superintendent of the Hoquiam School District. Tonight, you are participating in the 129th commencement, high school commencement for Hoquiam High School. 129 years. Dr. Mandich participated in one of those years ago, year 129. Before I share some thoughts, I want to personally thank the entire Hoquiam School District family to make this event happen today. You remember earlier today when it was pouring rain, all the people that were doing a lot of the stuff to make this happen. There was a lot before and after. Let's give everybody, especially a big round of applause. We had maintenance and custodial staff working for several days yesterday, this morning. They'll be here tomorrow. We also have our high school staff, senior parents, Rick Moyer with the video, with his talents. I also want to thank personally, and we got a little taste of that just right now, of all the individuals and the civic organizations that have donated and fundraised to be able to help our graduates to fulfill their dreams about going to school and going to trades. Without their support and their commitment to donating thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars, your dreams of getting there would be pretty tough. And so it requires that community. It requires that to happen. So let's, on behalf of everybody, let's give those folks a big round of applause. Some of you might know that my mother is from Peru. Anybody know where Peru's at? What country? Hopefully you learned that. If you don't, ask Mr. Jump, somebody. South America, okay? And I've had the opportunity to go there several times as younger. I planned on going last year, but something called COVID hit, and I wasn't able to go. If you know Peru, there's this mountain range that runs in there. Does anybody know the mountain range? The Andes. Very, very tall mountain range. And the Incas, the natives of there, thousands of years, they lived there. And they have actually found close to 25,000 miles of roads all up and down South America, going from actually north of Peru into Colombia all the way down to Chile and down south, up and down, zigzagging. When the Spaniards were coming in, they'd get on those roads and they'd hide. They'd hide in the mountains and they'd go back and forth. Interesting thing is that in those road systems, they had to have bridges because there was places where they had to cross water and deep areas. And so when they in order to make those bridges, they didn't have the steel, they didn't have all these things they could make. One thing that they had, and it looks kind of familiar to this, you can go online and look at it, they had this tall grass, kind of looked like these plants. That's all they had around them. And so you think, man, how are they going to make these bridges that are over 150 feet long and that deep down, where they grab that grass and they dry it, and then with their hands, they'd start rolling it, and they'd get it wet, and they pound on it, and they roll it, and they kind of make a string. And I think we've probably all done that with Play-Doh. You know, when you grab some Play-Doh and you grab it and you roll it and make it skinny. So picture that with grass. And they would make these essentially threads, long threads of string. And after so many threads of string, they would braid them with other strings, right? Eventually, to make cables, they're this big, long cables. Using those cables, they would actually stretch them across these areas there and make these long bridges. So if you happen to go down there now, there is one of these bridges that's left. Hanging over the Appomattox River in southern Peru, there's one of these bridges, one of these great world engineers' feats, and it's called the Quechua-Chaca Bridge. Remaining bridge in the world. This bridge spans over 100 feet long, can hold over 4,000 pounds at its tension. So it's actually very, very strong. What makes it so unique, like I said, is the grass. That's the only thing they have there they can use to make it. Now, interesting thing about these bridges, they're good for about a year and a half. The wear and tear, they break them, they'll cut them on purpose, they let them drop into the water, or they have this big celebration and they light it on fire. Think about Loggers Play Day. Big play day, let that thing burn and drop. Now they need another bridge. So what do? They have a designated bridge maker who knows how to make the bridge. And this knowledge has gone on for on and on and on. And he says every family is responsible for about 90 feet to make their thread and their cable. So they spend days, they have a ceremony where over days they would get everybody together and they said, start making the bridge, start doing your part. So, interestingly, the Incas are in a constant process of renewal. Even though it's been there for 500 years, this bridge, all this time, every year it's a new bridge. So think about that. Every year it's a new bridge. 129 years, there's been a new class of Hoquiam. There's been a new class. Next year there'll be another class, 130 years. Last year was 128. We start over every year. This year, like the ancient bridge in Peru, the class of 2021, this year you've had to build a bridge unlike any other class before you. You've had to renew and recreate you as a senior. 4 years ago, even 2 years ago, you didn't think this was going to be the way it was. This bridge is your bridge. You are unique. You've had to figure out how to create your own threads, right? You've had to figure that out on your own. I didn't know how to use Zoom. I didn't know how to do this. Guess what? You figured it out. The most important thing is that each of you had to weave your own pieces of your life into this year. And coming together as a class, you've done it. Together, you are building a wonderful experience. It's been tough. I'm not denying that. But guess what? You are stronger. You are better because what you've had to do. You had to create a bridge to get there. And you've done it. It's required each of you to do your part so you could get here. There are a few families here tonight, few families whose parents I've had to talk to, honestly, and saying, hey, I don't know if your child's going to make it. And they're here tonight because guess what they did? They figured it out. They weaved. They did the work. They made it happen, right? Under each cap and gown tonight, there is a story. For some of you, school came maybe a little easier than others. For others, you had to work at it. For others, man, this was just to get there. And maybe someone was helping you weave your string. Regardless, there had to be effort. Tonight, some of you represent your parents' greatest dreams and aspirations. Some of you may be the very first graduate in your family to graduate from high school. Some of you may be continuing a long tradition of college graduates or those going to school because you've had those around you to support you. Your parents and your family has sacrificed everything to get you to this point. It's been time, effort. Some of you tonight may be enlisting in the armed forces. And what an opportunity to be to represent you, your community, and this country in doing so. Regardless, you're all here tonight as the 2021 survivors. You figured it out, and I applaud you. Now, I dropped my mask for a second because I want to be really clear about this next. I'm done in 30 seconds. This group of kids, you, have pushed our staff and our district like no other group. In a good way. We've had to become better at what we do. We've had to be self-reflective in the way we teach, in the way we talk, in the way we do things. Has it been tough? Yes. Has it been tough on all of you? Yes. But we're better. And we've figured out how to get across the bridge. And you know what? After tonight, that bridge that you guys created, it gets cut. And then we all go back to work to figure it out, to do it again, to create it for the next group. And that's the power of our legacy and your legacy here at Hoquiam. I applaud you, and I'm humbled for the opportunity to be able to serve with you in this last year. And looking forward to hear your stories as you go out and find your spot in the world and where you create your bridges. And we want to hear about it. Congratulations, the class of 2021. Well done.
Okay, I'm just going to say a couple things, a couple bragging points about this class, then maybe get selfish with something real quick. But I want the audience to know, I've been principal for I don't know how many years, honestly, a few years. I've been in administration. I don't know. This is the first time that I can remember half of the kids sitting in front of you have a 3-point or higher. And, I've talked to other principals at other schools, and they go, that's unreal. That doesn't happen. And I said, well, it did here. So, when we talk about perseverance and the toughness you've been through, it's beyond just that. It's excelling. Many of you took the advantage. You seized the day. You went out and you said, I'm going to go get my AA and graduate from high school. I'm going to go learn this new thing. I had the honor of taking the Lions Club students this year to Lions Club, and I asked them a question. What's one thing that you learned during COVID that you wouldn't have learned if this wouldn't have happened? And every single student came up with an amazing answer. We're talking about perseverance, organization, responsibility. I learned it was okay to be by myself. And that's when I thought, wow, that just blows my mind because I didn't even think about that. I learned new things. I learned new hobbies. And many of you have, my gosh, I got a TA that goes to work at night and then shows up after work to come to school. Maybe some of you did that when you were in high school. I didn't know anybody that was doing it. But, the ability, we've got more students working right now and going to school at the same time than I've ever known. So I just had to bring those bragging points out because I just think that's so cool. I just think that's cool. I honestly, my one selfish thing I will say to this class, and this is truly selfish, I wish I had more time with you. I didn't get that time, so I wish I had more time with you. Okay, now I got that out of the way. So, we're going to do this, and then we're going to get to the important stuff. Raise your right hand, students, please. Hands up. The first claw, this is your pride claw, pride hand, represents perseverance. Never give up. COVID has defined this for many of you. It's defined perseverance. In many ways, you are light years ahead of many graduating classes in front of you. Seize this advantage. The second claw represents responsibility. Are you worthy of people's trust? Are you dependable? These are the people our workforce are looking for. Many of you held jobs this year. Once again, you are light years ahead of these other classes before you. Seize your advantage. The third claw represents integrity. Are you willing to be people who are willing to be morally upright citizens? We need that right now. Do people look at you as being honest? There are many opportunities for this right now and your future. Seize that opportunity. The fourth claw represents dedication. Commit to having a purpose. Have a positive attitude and loving others. Seize your purpose. And the fifth claw represents being enlightened. Keep educating yourselves. Be lifelong learners. And listen to both sides of every story. Then you can truly be enlightened. I'll say that one more time. Listen to both sides of the story. Then you can be enlightened. Seize your chance to learn. Now put your paw over your heart. This represents two things. You will go through many trials and tribulations in your life. No matter what you go through, always remember there are people who love you and that there are people who need to be loved. Don't forget to stay focused on the important things in life and seize the day. Your paw over your heart also represents that you will forever be a Grizzly in your heart. Tonight, at the end of this ceremony, you will forever be a Hoquiam Grizzly. Don't forget your roots, and don't forget where you came from. This community who's raised you and supported you will always welcome you home. And now, I will say to Mr. Villarreal and the Hoquiam School Board, I submit that these students have passed the requirements to graduate from Hoquiam High School and are ready to receive their diploma.
Are you ready, graduates? Let's do this. Just the back row. Just like we practiced this morning in the rain. I shouldn't say that word. Madeline Alvarez. Kalia Christine Bailey. Joseph Michael Brenneman. Kyron James Bretz. Lauren Lene Berger. Colby Wayne Byrne. Yasmin Carballo Gutierrez. Kevin Alexis Catalan. Lynn Ann Chavez. Rylan Daxton Christensen. Trey Ryan Crawford. Sarah Mackenzie Elledge. Junior Clay Ensminger. Mary Alice Estevillo. Kevin Jesus Estrada. Caleb James Fairgood. Matthew Glenn Russell Fitzpatrick. Bradley James Folkers. Kristen James Ford. Samuel Patrias Fox. Kiana Mary Ray Frank. Quinn Ann Gerard. Christian Daniel Gleason. Tisha Marie Hancock. Owen Levi Harner. Jason Allen Bruce Hayter. Amy Marie Heisen. Madison Renee Herrera. Sebastian Alejandro Higuerita Gonzalez. Alicia Rose Howard. Audrey Day Hulsman. Trinity Dawn Huff. Rosemary Lynn Johnner. Caden Allen Kemp. Hannah Ryan Crone. Natalie June Loans Anderson. Jaylyn Renee McCormick. Marcus Anthony Marmont. Troy Jacob McMinn. Araya Danielle Middleton. Vincent Ronald Monroe. Jackson John Mudenbaugh. Abraham Brandon Morales. Rodrigo Christian Morales. Ruth Galilee Moreno Figueroa. Alyssa Raylene Perry. Brandon M. Pickett. Jaden Faith Pratt. Alexander Francisco Reyes. Arwen Morningstar Riggs. Joe Rendell Rogers. Tristan Anthony Schmidt. Dylan Garrett Sears. Jonathan Gabriel Celine. Madison Lee Sherman. Lexi Janelle Schultz. Jacob Daniel Smith. Cassidy Renee Such. Danielle K. Taylor. Camden Christopher Templer. Jaden Sierra Totten. Samina Aaliyah Vasquez. Crystal Lita Diane Vesey. Emily Lynn Watkins. Dominic Christopher Weber. Hunter Garrett Wilbur. Eliza Page Wood. Skylar Daniel Zabarak. Francisco Garcia Rivera. Finn Patrick McElliott. Caden John Stankovich. Dane Jaron McMillan. Chloe Alexandra Goodenough. Zachary Corey Gillis Anderson. Clara Rose Wolford. Caitlin Marie Stevens. Ainsley Jane Estes. Elizabeth Ann Folkers. Noah Ryan Sutterth. Valerie Ann Roloff. Emily Rand Daniels. Jillian Ray Cobb. Haley May Lawrence. McKenna Hope Catron. Jennifer Jean Cole. Michael Stephen Jump. Kylie Mackenzie Bell. Amelia Patricia Moore. Emily Raylan Elders. Marianne Day Parton. Trey Jacob Bryden. Sadie Suzanne Carlisle. Sharia Faith Bryden. Tawny Lou Hilliard. Congratulations, class of 2021. It's official, you've graduated. We ask that parents meet their graduates in the parking lot. The graduates will exit out the front doors and go to the parking lots. Thank you very much.